All right, guys. Hey, it's Melissa here. I am resting. I actually called into work sick today because I think it was like, when was it? Monday, when my boss was like, "Come on, hurry up, let's go." I think it was then I was starting to feel kind of worn out, but I was still doing work, like still doing stuff around here on my day off, Tuesday and yesterday. So last night I called in to give them plenty of notice. So I am very womanly. My hormones and everything, I'm very in tune with my body. So I've been going through ovulation, which, you think in menopause time when you're changing that you don't go through that, but you do. So I've had like a ton of pain too in my pelvis area. It almost feels like I have cramps. And it was last year, November of last year, right around my birthday was my last period. So I'm like, just like, what is going on now with my body, right? So you still have emotions and hormones, almost like you're still on your period when you go through menopause. So I'm on the couch and I'm just taking it easy right now, taking a break. Um, what I want to talk about is sometimes a lot of women do not understand how we operate. So, for example, being very pro life, we are hearing right now that in Georgia, a woman just died. Amber, I forget her last name. Amber just died. She was brought in to have an abortion and she, I guess, missed her appointment. So they sent her home with abortion pills and she just died. So we are seeing that women are dying left and right from the abortion pills. 63% or so of women are dying, I think it is. Some high amount of women are dying from abortion pills now. So we're not doing women any favors. And then I think it was Miss Magazine. Yeah, I was reading that today in my email this morning. And we're seeing them say, who is this? Kathy Spiller. We're hearing them say, "Hey, women need their constitutional rights." Back in 1787 or whatever, when the Constitution was made, we didn't have a right to vote. We had white landowners who made all the decisions. We were not part of that. And then black women had to wait even longer with the Jim Crow laws. And so we need our right to go to abortion. It goes, I mean, it just jumps all the way to abortion. So we have these liberal magazines that are just like, hey, make sure you vote this year. It's bigger. It is bigger than one issue, but abortion's the main voting agenda, which is hard to believe that we have come this far, seriously, as women, that we have destroyed ourselves so much. So I'm the type of woman, I like to do stuff, I like to be creative, I like to work, but I have a heart for the home and I have a heart for family and I have a heart for, being a wife and having kids, and I'm just very family oriented. And to see that we are destroying ourselves is just, even like I went back to New Hampshire in June and to see the changes within 2 years was just unbelievable. And I was talking to an Uber driver who said, yeah, he had gone to his hometown and he couldn't believe how fast things have changed over there. And when I was growing up, things did not change very fast. I mean, you had like the same old thing for like 50 years, 60 years. So things are changing quick. I was going to say something else. So basically, I just think that a lot of women don't understand how women work. I think for the most part, women need to, we desire to be married, we desire to have children for the most part as women. We desire to have a family and to be creative with our hands and take care of a home and, decorate it and cook. And unless you work at this, you kind of don't understand your design in life. I mean, you're supposed to be able to make a home out of nothing. So if you take your time and you're there in the home for the most part, and you are working at creating, an atmosphere of fun and joy and love and all these things, the fruit of the spirit, love, joy, peace, kindness, goodness, self-control. You are going to have a home that is vibrant, successful, alive. This is the stuff that you cannot build with wood and money. This is the stuff that happens that money cannot buy, right? And this is where women are so valuable, because you're building a home and you're building relationships, right? So I just think we have it backwards. We're like fish out of water. We just don't seem to understand how important our role is as women and mothers and homemakers. And what else was I going to say? Just that is just unbelievable, the way we are going in society. And I was watching Good Morning America, and they had Christopher Reeve's children on, and we know him as Superman, right? We all grew up with him with Superman, and there's going to be a movie out about his life and how his strength changed from, being Superman to being a different strength, being a father there for his son. And as we watch this, I was watching the premiere for this, and we see that back in that day, when he was still alive, and he was introduced at a ceremony, Oscars or something, people were clapping. He had a warm welcome. They weren't like, oh, Christopher Reeve now is handicapped, so he has no value. They were like, look at this man. He's amazing. He was paralyzed and he overcame so much during that time of trying to walk again. But now I was thinking, we're in a society where we throw people away. I mean, if somebody's paralyzed or something, we just throw them away, and it could happen to anybody. So, we need to do better, guys. We're the ones in the church. We're the ones who are the light. I just talked to a church, two churches today, that regularly help people. Regularly. You fill out an application, they go over what's going on. Oh, wait a minute, it was three churches. Another church helps on a regular basis too. And this is what I'm looking for to help the pro life movement. We need churches that have already in place programs to help women be like, okay, how can we help? What do we do? So I mentioned the divorce, and this pastor said, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry for what you're going through. And he said, let us know if we can help in any other way too. And so I just shared, like, just my personal story. I'll share my personal story, and then I'll give like an organization information of what I find out. And he's like, we have divorce care, we have Stephen's ministry. And I go, well, thank you so much. I already went through divorce care, I already went through Stephen's ministry. So when we have people who call for help, we should have an attitude of what can we do to help, not we can't. And I see the we can't in churches that really bother me. Like yesterday, I was talking to someone, and she's like, well, are you a member? And I'm like, nope, I'm not a member of your church, but I am a member of the Church of God. And she's like, well, good luck with that, because unless you're a member, you're going to have a hard time finding help for women. And I said, I said, you want to be a church that helps people on the outside? And she goes, well, the problem with that is that you're going to have everybody come to us. And I said, that's exactly what you want. You want everyone coming to you so that you can use money and finances and resources to get the gospel out so that many people can be saved, right? So I've seen churches that say, hey, fill out an application and we will talk about what we can do, or whether we should do it, or whether we have other resources. And that's also a really smart idea. So we want to pull people into the churches who are calling instead of pushing them away. And we want to bring them in, and we want to know them. We want to know their story. We want to know their situation. We want to know how we can help people. And somebody else said, hey, we're living in such a tough economy and it's hard for everyone. And yes, we're living in a tough economy. And although the Federal Reserve put down the interest rates, they're putting interest rates down as of yesterday, because we're living in a hard economy, people need to come together more, right? So then I was talking to another church yesterday, and they're like, oh, we have a shelter for women who need help, women who are pregnant, and moms. And I'm like, well, what do you do for women who already have a home and they just need help, right? So if you already have a home, half the battle's already done rather than having to go to another home and, get reassessed with all your stuff and, figure out how you're going to make it in a whole new place. So, so I'm seeing like, okay, how can we solve things more for women and not just women who have kids, but women who have had husbands who leave or they're in domestic abuse. And the other night, I'm on this couch right now, but the other night, and I don't know if the video went up, but we had a guy knocking on our door, banging on our door, help, help, they got a gun, right? So my when my sons came home and he's like, darn, I always miss the fun when I'm gone. And I'm like, hey, did you know that your phone was blowing up? I mean, I was texting him, don't come home because we got the police here and stuff. And he's like, yeah, I had to shut it off because I was in a prayer meeting. And I'm like, wouldn't it have been better to be praying for us that your family could have been murdered over here and you're in a prayer meeting and you're not praying for us? So we laughed about it. But yesterday, my other son heard the guy come back and say, hey, let's get out of here to this woman he was arguing with and said, let's get out of here before the police come. So, my point is, you have women in domestic abuse, obviously, over here, and you have a lot going on. So, we just really need to find, every single way we can help women succeed in life and, just be the best they can be with tons of programs. So, that's what I got for now, guys. Okay, thanks for joining me.